is CTV News.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Well, if you were hoping to be among the first to cross the Gordie Howe International Bridge this weekend, you'll have to keep waiting. The opening has been delayed again. This afternoon, Prime Minister Mark Carney saying the delay came at the request of the United States.
Well, at the request of the United States, we agreed to delay the opening and take the necessary time to resolve outstanding issues. There's a few issues that have been raised, and this is a collaborative approach. As I said yesterday, there's not great drama here. We're going to work through some issues that have come up, and you know, for a bridge that is going to be in place and serve Canadians, Americans, others for decades.
So that's the latest from the Prime Minister. Earlier today, the Windsor-Detroit Bridge Authority announcing the opening would be postponed, but offering few details. As CTV's Michelle Molesky reports, the news dashing hopes of a ribbon cutting that many expected was just hours away.
Sandwich Brewing Company wanted a new beer to commemorate the opening of the Gordie Howe Bridge.
We were expecting it to open, sooner. And so we actually, when the beer was finished, we called it Over It.
Owner Nicole Sakella says it's a play on words. Yes, folks in Windsor are ready to drive, bike, or walk across the Gordie, but also
we're so over it, and just waiting.
Just days after sending out invites, the Windsor-Detroit Bridge Authority canceled the Friday ribbon-cutting ceremony. In a statement, interim CEO Chuck Andery says Canada and the U.S. have agreed to delay the opening of the bridge, taking the necessary time to resolve any outstanding issues. The statement goes on to thank the workers on both sides for their efforts to get the structure ready, but it doesn't say when traffic will roll across.
Nothing surprises me with Donald Trump.
And speaking on AM 800's The Kyle Horner Show hours after the latest delay, Windsor Mayor Drew Dilkens had a message for Prime Minister Mark Carney.
Because of Trump's tariffs war, trade is down. The Ambassador Bridge is handling the current traffic fine at this particular point in time, and it's just a matter of time before this bridge opens. But don't go on bent knee to Donald Trump over this issue.
A disappointment, says Councillor Fred Francis, noting opening now could have been perfect timing.
With the World Cup taking place today and happening for the next month, and one of the venues being Toronto and cross-border traffic between Canada and the United States, I think it's a vital point to have that bridge open as soon as we can.
Back at Sandwich Brewing, Sakella is once burned, twice shy about opening day excitement.
We just had this anticipation over and over again, and now, you know what, it has to be open for us to believe it now, I think.
Michelle Molesky, CTV News.
And while questions remain about what's holding up the opening, some are asking a different question tonight. After billions of dollars in public money went into the project, when will Canadians finally see a return on that investment? Here's CTV's Chris Campbell.
The Gordie Howe International Bridge stands ready to open, but another delay has left many waiting.
Unfortunately, I wasn't surprised, but I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people disappointed. We've been waiting a long time for this, and I'm not surprised that it's been delayed.
For some, the delay is another reminder that politics can have real consequences. Others believe Canada shouldn't back down if the postponement is tied to broader trade negotiations with the United States.
I just hope that our Prime Minister stays tough, holds the line, and does not give in. Okay, just does not give in. You can't give in to a man like that.
For Windsor resident Emmett Jewell, the frustration goes beyond another delay.
We paid for it to build it, and we got to get our money back in tolls. So how do we get our money back in tolls if it ain't open?
It's a sentiment echoed by the Canadian Taxpayers Federation, which says Canadians deserve greater transparency around when the $6.4 billion project will begin delivering a return on investment.
The Carney government needs to be transparent and open with Canadians as to when they expect this bridge to open up.
Earlier this year, the Detroit Regional Chamber estimated each day the Gordie Howe Bridge remains closed cost roughly $1 million in direct economic impact. Noah Jarvis says with the federal government carrying significant debt, Canadians should know when infrastructure investments of this scale will begin delivering results.
Taxpayers should really be kept in the loop as to when these big infrastructure projects will open up, when they will start to pay off, and when taxpayers could actually benefit from these infrastructure projects like the Gordie Howe Bridge.
Many Windsor residents remain hopeful the bridge will soon provide another crossing option, reduce congestion, and strengthen the local economy.
It's a shame. It's there. We need it. We're being monopolized by the bridge, so it's time that they open it and they give us some alternatives other than the tunnel.
Federal officials have not announced a new date for the ribbon-cutting ceremony or the bridge's opening, saying only that discussions with the United States are continuing. In Windsor, Chris Campbell, CTV News.
For more on the impact of this latest delay, head to ctvnewswindsor.ca. And a programming note, tomorrow night, the U.S. takes on Paraguay in World Cup action live right here on CTV Windsor. We will join you for CTV News Windsor's 11 o'clock newscast as soon as the final whistle blows. Until then, you can find all of today's top stories at ctvnewswindsor.ca and on the CTV News app. Back to cross-border travel, a warning tonight for anyone applying for a Nexus card. The process starts online, but as CTV's Pat Bourne reports, one wrong click could cost you hundreds of dollars.
If you're a frequent traveler to the U.S., a Nexus card can help you bypass long lineups at the airport and crossing the border. Pauline Saunders of Angus decided she wanted to get a Nexus card to save time while traveling. She went online to start the process.
I knew I wanted this pass, and then I saw an advertisement on Google, so I hit it.
A company said it could help her apply for a Nexus card, and she agreed to pay their fee of almost $600 U.S. But months later, she had still not received a Nexus card, and she was told an additional payment of $120 U.S. was required.
I didn't want to pay another $120 because what else are they going to take from me?
Saunders used the services of a third-party company called Nexus Pass Online, Inc. A spokesperson told CTV News, Nexus Pass Online is a private application assistance service. Our value is saving time, reducing mistakes, so the process is clear and stress-free. This fee covers document review and readiness for submission. It does not include the government's filing fee. The company said it needed Saunders to pay the additional $120 U.S. to finish the application, which she declined.
It's just not okay. I'm so angry and upset about it.
The Canada Border Services Agency says using a third party will not speed up the process and could even cause delays or denials in getting a Nexus card. A spokesperson said, you do not need a third party to complete your Nexus application. The fee for a 5-year Nexus membership is $120 U.S. You can go directly to the Government of Canada's website to apply, renew, or replace a Nexus card. Saunders says she's frustrated after paying more than $800 Canadian that she'll have to start the process all over again. Pat Foran, CTV News.
And tonight, a new push to keep Canada-U.S. trade talks on track after Donald Trump said he's not looking to renew the current free trade deal. Ambassadors and cabinet ministers on both sides of the border are offering a more optimistic message. CTV's Abigail Beeman reports.
America has a tremendous amount of things where we have a need.
America's man in Ottawa gives context to these comments from Donald Trump on the Free Trade Pact up for review.
I'm not looking to renew it. We don't need anything that Canada has.
Pete Hoekstra says there are things America needs, potash and oil, for example.
Go into these negotiations very aggressively.
And it's Canada's job to sell itself as the best place to buy.
I think every time we've met with the Canadian government, the president has always kind of closed the meetings off or consistently said through the meetings, make us an offer.
Hoekstra also referenced a positive shift in rhetoric from Doug Ford on his trip to D.C. this week, Pierre Poilievre, and this from the Prime Minister.
Canada Strong will help make America great again.
What I'm encouraged by is, what we do see as a pivot.
As an investor, as someone who's spent most of his career allocating capital, uncertainty sucks.
Canada's rarely heard from ambassador said America first doesn't mean America alone.
I think we need to continually remind Americans of the importance of Canada to the United States. We're not good at that. always.
I'm optimistic.
While the minister responsible remains hopeful about a 16-year deal extension.
I try and demystify this July 1st deadline.
Right.
It's not a cliff that everybody goes hurtling off.
LeBlanc said he spoke with U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick this week and will see Trade Representative Jameson Greer at the G7 next week. He described conversations as constructive with a need to move forward. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
Emotional testimony today in a Windsor murder trial. The owner of a Tecumseh restaurant describing the victim as, quote, my everything, while two neighbors testified the accused told them he had killed someone before turning himself in. Here's CTV's Stephanie Mazzotti.
The owner of the Bourbon Tap and Grill in Tecumseh, George Marr, testified first in Superior Court Thursday. He said the deceased, Tony Bashara, was the day manager at the restaurant. He testified, Tony became my everything in life. He was my go-to. He was my first hug of the day. Marr also described the accused Glenn Mayer as a good friend of his. Marr described events from January 20th of 2024, saying Mayer called him at 6:07 a.m., alleging his wife was having an affair with Bashara. Marr replied that rumors are rumors and said he would have to call back later, but did not as he was preparing to leave for a family vacation. The jury also learned Bashara sent Marr what he described as a good morning text message every day at 10 a.m. That text was never sent, and text messages and phone calls from Marr to Bashara were never returned. Marr says he called 911 and rushed to Bashara's house, where no one answered. Marr said he was on the phone with Bashara's brother when police told him not to enter the house. The Crown then asked Marr to review a 5:17 a.m. text message from Mayer that read, everyone loses today, along with a screenshot from his wife's phone showing an explicit message from Bashara ending in "Good night, beautiful." The second witness Thursday was Patrick Bray, Mayer's neighbor of 20 years. He testified that on January 20th of 2024, Mayer came up his driveway around 8:30 a.m. in a T-shirt and jeans, holding a glass of whiskey, and said he had killed someone and would be going away for 10 to 15 years, then hugged him. Bray said he laughed, went back inside, and later drove to Mayer's home, where Mayer told him, get the explicit out of here, I don't want you involved. Mayer also said his father was coming to get him and that he would be turning himself in, repeating, I killed someone and I'm going to turn myself in. The last witness to take the stand was another neighbor, Dwayne Chouinard. He told the jury he received a call from Mayer around 8:15 that day. Mayer said he loves me and that he was going away for 10 to 15 years and then hung up. He then went to his house where Mayer said, I don't want to engage with you any further, so you have to go. The trial continues Friday. Stephanie Mazzotti, CTV News.
A new federal bill would ban children under 16 from having social media accounts. But as CTV's Sanjay Maru reports, some in Windsor, Essex say a ban may be hard to enforce.
The Safe Social Media Act, or Bill C-34, would force companies like Meta and X to block users under the age of 16 from having accounts.
We're failing our children. Enough is enough.
Canada joins a growing number of countries trying to put in place stricter social media policies, regulations that have proven difficult to enforce.
I look to Australia. Kids have gotten around the age verification. It's not keeping kids offline. It's not protecting them any more than it was before.
Joanna Conrad of Essex County Youth Diversion says there is a definite need to crack down on the risks young people face online, pointing to a rise in youth violence, kids being desensitized to mature content, body image and self-esteem pressures, and even sexually related offenses.
We are seeing that children are exposed to pornography, explicit content, and they are reenacting it oftentimes with another child.
Students say when it comes to social media access, there needs to be a balance.
It depends on the child. Some kids are responsible and their parents can teach them that social media is dangerous, yes, but there's also some good things about social media.
You see how happy people are in the stuff they're doing on social media. They're not going to post the bad stuff, and it's going to make you think that there's something you're doing wrong.
Social media is our outlet to connect with our friends and really be there for each other, especially up to 16, because that's when you're in high school and you're experiencing all those new things.
Apps are designed to keep you like scrolling forever and like not stop. You get tired the next morning and your brain isn't working as well, but I feel like banning is like too harsh.
The government is providing a pathway for social media companies to be exempt from the legislation by putting in sufficient safeguards, such as limiting children's exposure to high-risk interactions and pornographic content. If passed, the act would take about 18 months to be enforced, with fines of up to $10 million for companies that don't comply. Sanjay Maru, CTV News.
CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald has your full weather details coming up in 2 minutes' time.
I'd definitely stay up late and watch the whole game.
And still ahead, midnight kickoffs, 4 a.m. last calls, why some Windsor bars are betting big on World Cup fever. CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joins us with a look at the forecast. And Gary, it is definitely still hot out there.
You're right about that. Through the overnights, just like last night, the night before that, technically pre-dawn, right between midnight and dawn itself. Temperatures in the low 20s, feeling like about 28 to 31. That is warm. Obviously, heat and humidity, the two ingredients, have been laid right across the lower Great Lakes and sustained jet stream support coming from the south-southwest, subtropical air, moisture-laden coming up from the Gulf of Mexico. That is why temperatures are well above season, as you see with the almanac graphic before you. 31.2, average high just shy of 25, and the low today of 22.1 is obviously well above the 14.1, 8 degrees above. That's statistically significant, no doubt. The worst case scenario is we're going to see thunderstorms getting really close as I speak. Gusty winds tomorrow morning. I think we clear, and by dawn, close to about 6 a.m., things are looking pretty good. Mostly sunny, if not hazy. Fair weather cloud, the disturbances, well, we're dealing with one to our west through the overnight, but it just may clip us. And the worst of it stays south of Lake Erie and perhaps splits and goes north of Lake Huron, upper Michigan, into northern, central, and northwestern Ontario. So the concern is the warmth. Try to stay cool. Obviously, the wet weather, we need it for our growers, our lawns, so that's the silver lining here. And we are still looking at the possibility of temperatures still above that 20-degree mark. That's warm. Humidity values in the mid-60% range. So 21 at its lowest point, perhaps at 4 a.m. tomorrow morning, feels like 27. The winds are out of the west. They will gradually diminish from morning through the midday into the afternoon, but they're still strong, even by the time we get up to our high near 28, 29 degrees Celsius late in the afternoon tomorrow. We'll see lots of sunshine, high UV. Protect yourself. Of course, sunblock, sunscreen, and sunglasses recommended. Next 7 days, look at this. Warm next couple of days, some sunshine, and then we'll see rain, but much cooler and seasonal for 5 days straight. Below 25 degrees Celsius. Even the lows, even Monday's low technically should be at that time close to about 15. Might see 9 or 10, single digits. They'll be more comfortable next week, something to look forward to. Travis?
Thank you, Gary. Toronto police say one of their officers was fatally shot while executing a search warrant this morning. The second Ontario police officer killed in the line of duty this week. With more on the circumstances leading up to the gunfire, here's CTV's Beth McDonnell.
43-year-old Constable Mark Pinizzato was a husband, father to 14-year-old twins, and a Toronto police officer for 18 years. Today, while executing a search warrant, the specially trained member of the emergency task force was shot and killed.
Our teams met with Mark's family at the hospital to confirm this devastating news, and they are grieving a profound loss. Words cannot describe the pain they are feeling.
I happen to know the mom very well for 20 plus years. Their grief is shared across this entire city.
The shooting happened around 5:40 in the morning at a residential tower near Black Creek Drive and Trethui Drive. There was an exchange of gunfire. The Special Investigations Unit says Pinizzotto entered a fourth-floor unit when a suspect fired the first shot.
A man discharged his firearm at an officer, resulting in the officer being struck. A second officer returned fire, and the man was struck multiple times.
A 19-year-old suspect is in custody, sent to hospital in critical condition. Police say Pinizzotto was rushed to Sunnybrook, but despite heroic efforts, did not survive. The tower where Pinizzotto was shot is the same building where last summer 8-year-old Javai Roy was hit by a stray bullet and killed. In this case, many woke up to the sound of sirens and saw tactical officers with guns. Police have been guarding the lobby and the unit where shots were fired.
I was terrified. I was so scared because I'm looking out the window. I'm like, oh my gosh, not again.
And then when I went to drop my daughter off at the school bus, I seen all the blood and stuff in the lobby.
From Sunnybrook, Pinizzotto's body was carried in a procession to the coroner's office. The grief and sadness of this day overwhelming for his fellow officers. This police salute a show of solidarity. Described as a dream recruit, they have now lost one of their own in the line of duty. Beth McDonnell, CTV News.
In Toronto, the TSX gained 520 points, while in New York, the Dow added 930, and the Nasdaq is up 640. The Canadian dollar fell a third of a cent today. Gold lost more than $19 an ounce, and oil dropped $2.32 a barrel.
CTV News Windsor has launched a newsletter helping you start your day with the latest local news. By signing up, you'll get direct local content straight from CTV Windsor to your inbox, including top stories, the forecast, and videos. You can sign up at ctvnewswindsor.ca.
The World Cup is about to turn some very late nights into very early mornings, and for local sports bars, that could mean a month of cheers well past last call. Here's CTV's Bob Belichico.
With some games starting at midnight Eastern time, will fans be watching the World Cup?
Oh, definitely, especially if Canada or England's playing. I definitely stay up late and watch the whole game, for sure.
Licensed bars and restaurants are gearing up for soccer's biggest tournament, with alcohol service extended till 4 a.m. until July 19th.
I'm 5 houses from the Kildare house. Yes, I'll be walking across Wynot Street at midnight and watch a game if it's a good team playing.
Kildare House and Factory House are staying open late to accommodate soccer fans during the tournament.
A bunch of TVs, music, and a lot of soccer.
Echo is a club on Pelissier Street opening later for the World Cup as well.
We have DJs booked from 2 till 4 for the next month, and obviously DJs earlier in the evening. But then we're just a full-on after-hours spot now, so it's going to be interesting.
Owner Justin Warnock says Detroit has after-hours clubs, and he's using the opportunity to stay open during the World Cup to gauge the demand for it in Windsor.
Maybe it's a nice little test, to see what can happen. But obviously, it's great just for to celebrate the World Cup as well.
Eastwood's Grill and Lounge is another venue that is staying open late during the World Cup games, but there's no guarantee that they or the others will stay open till 3 or 4 in the morning during the week.
The other nights, we might sometimes go to 4 a.m. if we feel like it, but we're going to extend the hour and see how that goes for now.
Tonight or tomorrow night or the weeknights, we're gonna let the customers dictate when we close.
With the Stanley Cup and NBA Finals going on, where does the World Cup rank right now?
NBA 1, hockey 2, and soccer 3rd.
World Cup may not be the most popular choice for Luke Peller, but he and others plan to watch.
Oh, yeah, I'll watch it.
Okay.
Be nice to hang out with the boys and check her out.
You'll be watching the World Cup?
Absolutely. Go Canada.
Some really good players, Alfonso Davies, Seal Lauren. Go Canada, go.
Bob Belichico, CTV News.
Discussion here at Windsor City Hall.
Windsor's top stories.
A major project is about to get underway.
Breaking news alerts.
Severe weather is a possibility.
And watch live.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Download the CTV News app.
CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald is back for one more look at the 7-day forecast. And Gary, we're definitely above seasonal. There's no question about that. But things get a little bit more comfortable later in the 7-day.
I do like that word, comfortable or comfort. And you're right about that, Travis. Next week, I think we are going to see a bit of temperature relief. Next couple of days, though, some warmth in the afternoon. Tomorrow's windy, especially in the morning. Westerlies sustained at 40 gusts to 60 through the midday, diminishing, and then even more so towards the afternoon. But it's still breezy once we get up to 28, feeling like about 33. Sunny on Saturday, 29, high UV. Protect yourself. Sunday, cooling off, cloudy, and a chance of showers. Sunday is interesting. It's the beginning of this cooler streak, but 23 and 24 from Sunday through to Thursday of next week is average for that time frame next week. We'll take it. We need a break. Let's look at your weather. Good night.
Thank you, Gary. Finally tonight, hey, trade the couch for a lawn chair this weekend. Whiff Under the Stars is back in downtown Windsor, turning the city core into an outdoor movie theater for 3 nights. The free event features family favorites and big screen hits, including Wicked, Sinners, and Zootopia 2. All you need is a chair, some popcorn, and a clear view of the screen.
So right here on the waterfront, right by the art gallery. So we've got a great view of the water, but also got free movies all weekend long. So from 9 a.m. to midnight for all 3 days. Got a beautiful LED wall that's built, so the clarity of the film would be fantastic.
That's our time for tonight. We hope you'll join us tomorrow night. We'll be on the air as soon as the U.S.-Paraguay match wraps up here on CTV. For now, I'm Travis Fortnum. Take care.